Hey folks, Miss Roll here with our Balancing Reactions Examples video. If you have not already watched the notes video, Balancing Reactions Notes, please go do that first. Since I don't actually go over the steps, we're just going to go through a few examples in this video. But our learning target for this is I can balance a chemical reaction. So these are the three examples that we're going to go through, and we're going to just talk through the wrap method and kind of how we balance those. So hopefully this helps you to make sense of balancing and give you some examples. Remember, if you're still stuck, make sure that you're asking questions. All right, so in the notes video, we went through kind of setting up the wrap table, so I'm not going to go over that again. But remember, you always just list your elements under the A, under arrow in the center. That's how you get started. So now, step number 2 is to count our number of elements on the reactant side. So of course, here's our arrow, so reactants is over here on the left. So I have 1 Na and 2 Cl. If you're stuck on how we got counting, go back to your counting atoms notes. And then on our product side, no little numbers, so I have 1 Na and 1 Cl. So now that I've counted, I have to balance. And remember, I am only changing the numbers in the equation up front, those big numbers. So, but I have to figure out what numbers I need to change. So I look down my list, Na is balanced. It has both, 1 Na on both sides, reactant and product. So my Cl does not. It has 2 on the reactants and only 1 on the product. So that means that is what I need to balance. So I'm going to look for my Cl on the product side. It's right here, no little number. So that means if I put a 2 out front, 2 times 1 is going to give me the 2 Cl. Okay, but now I need to remember, this 2 changes multiplies my whole compound. So it also is going to change my Na. So that means I also have 2 times 1 giving me 2 Na. So now I go back and I look at my table. Na is not balanced. I have 2 on the products, but only 1 on the reactant side. So I'm going to find Na on the reactant side. And because, again, no little number, just putting a 2 out front. Whoops. Move that back. I don't know how we got over here. Where are we? Here we go. Okay. Getting a 2 out front is going to multiply my Na times 2, and there's nothing else in that compound. So that tells me that I am, in fact, done. That is my answer. And now, right, I have my wrap table. I can double check. Everything is, in fact, balanced. And remember, my answer that we need is this. Okay, 2 Na plus Cl2 reacts to form 2 NaCl. Okay, your wrap table is not your answer. It's just helping you get to the answer. All right, let's do another example. All right, so here's our second example. So I've set up my wrap table, and I'm going to go ahead and count. So my reactant side, I have 2 hydrogen, I have 2 oxygen. Product side, I have 2 hydrogen, and notice I have oxygen in 2 spots in this equation, okay? When I have it in 2 spots, oops, I don't want that. When I have an element in 2 spots, you got to add it, okay? Add. When it's in 2 spots, we got to add it. So, counting my oxygens, I have 1 in my first compound and 2 in my second, so that's going to give me a total of 3. Okay? So now balancing, I would look, my hydrogen is already balanced, 2 and 2. Now my oxygen's got this 2 and 3. So I can't turn 2 into 3 or 3 into 2. But I also want to try and keep this easy. So I'm going to try on this product side to get an even number. Oftentimes, get an even number. Whoops, messed that up somehow. Oftentimes, getting an even number figured out is way more helpful than, here we go. It's way more helpful than pretty much anything else that I could do. So I'm going to go ahead and make my oxygen on the product side into an even number. And that's easy. I just put a 2. So now I have 2 oxygen there and 2 oxygen there. That's going to give me a total of 4. But of course, my 2 multiplied the whole compound. So that means that I now need to also change my hydrogen. That made it 4 hydrogen. So now I'm going to go back to my reactant side because I have 4 of hydrogen and oxygen on the products and only 2 on the reactant side. But now here's the nice and easy thing. I can put a 2 in front of my H2O2. 2 times 2 gives me 4 hydrogen, and 2 times 2 gives me 4 oxygen. And there is my answer. Remember, the actual answer is this part up here, not the wrap table. Okay, and of course, as usual, you can put a 1 in that blank or just leave it blank. It doesn't really matter. All right, one last example. Got down here somewhere. There's our third example. I'm going to go ahead and set up my wrap table real quick. Okay. NaCl and O. So reactant side, I have 1 Na, 1 Cl, 3 O. Product side, 1 Na, 1 Cl, and 2 O's. Okay, so now I notice my sodium is balanced, my chlorine is balanced, but my oxygen here is not. I have 3 on one side and 2 on the other. Similar to our last problem, I can't turn 3 into 2 and I can't turn 2 into 3. So what I'm going to start with is trying to make my odd number even. That's oftentimes the easiest thing to do. So I'm going to put a 2 up here, right? And that's going to change my oxygen. 2 times 3 is going to give me 6 oxygen. But remember, multiplies the whole compound. So it also, 2 times 1, gave me 2 NAs, 2 sodiums, and 2 times 1, it gave me 2 chlorines. Always got to check that whole compound. All right. Now I'm going to try and balance things again. I'm going to go back to the top here. I have sodium, right, which has 2 on the reactants and 1 on the products. So I'm going to find my sodium and put a 2 in front. 2 times 1 gave me 2 NAs, but again, whole compound. So I also need to change my chlorine. It also gave me 2 chlorines. All right, so looking at my list, sodium is balanced, chlorine is balanced, oxygen. That's the one I need to fix. So now I have O2, and I want to get up to 6. So all I got to do is put a 3 out front. 3 times 2 gave me 6 oxygen. And that is it for our balancing examples. Hopefully this made sense. Remember, for this type of thing, practice makes perfect. The only way you're going to get it is doing a bunch of problems. I highly suggest always double checking your answers and like recounting with your wrap table. So like you could, once you think you've got the right answer, just erase everything for your numbers and then start counting again with your numbers that you put in there. So I had 2 times 1 sodium, that's going to give me 2, right? 2 times 1 chlorine, that gives me 2. 2 times 3, that gave me 6. Over here, 2 times 1 gave me 2. 2 times 1 gave me 2. And 3 times 2 gave me 6. So you can always double check that your answer was correct by erasing and recounting with those big numbers you put in. All right, that is it. Remember, questions are one of the best ways to learn, and I hope you have a fabulous day.